education. Yeah.
We can start, ma'am.
Yes. Good morning to everyone present in this virtual session. With the blessings of His Holiness, Sri Jagadguru, Sri Shivaratri Deshikendra Mahaswamiji, I myself, Geeta Srinivas, would like to welcome our guest speaker, Dr. Narayanappa Sir, who is with us to enlighten us with his speech on adolescent education on growing up. Adolescence is the time between being a child and a mature adult. That is the period of time during which a person grows into an adult, but are emotionally not mature. Once again, on behalf of JSS Public School, I welcome you, sir. Before we start this session, let's seek the blessings from God. Over to Datri.
Mahaganapatim manasa smarami Mahaganapatim manasa smarami Mahaganapatim manasa smarami Mahaganapatim manasa Smarami Vasishtavamadevadigandita Mahaganapatim Mahadevasutam Guru Guhanutam Mahadevasutam Guru Guhanutam Mahadevasutam Guru Guhanutam Marakoti Prakasham Shantam Mahadevasutam Guru Guhanutam Marakoti Prakasham Shantam Mahakavya Natakadi Priyam Mushikavahana Modaka Priyam Mahakavya Natakadi Priyam Mushikavahan Modaka Priyam Papa Magamari Sari Sagama Pamagama Padhani Sari Gama Mari Sari 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 Pamagama Ripamari Gama Risa Sari Pamagama Risa Sari Gama Ganapatim. Thank you.
Thank you, Datri. Indeed, it was a very inspiring and soothing prayer. Over to Taiba, ma'am.
Happy morning, everyone. Myself, Taiba here. I take privilege in introducing our guest for the day, Dr. Narayanappa D, who has done his MD FIAP. He is National IAP ID Chapter Chairman 2019, and he was IAP Karnataka State President for 2014 to 2015, IAP State Infectious Disease Chapter President for 2013 to 2014, IAP State Respiratory Chapter President for 2008 to 2010, Central IAP Executive Board Member for 2009 to 2010, Principal Investigator in ICMR and DST projects, Organizing Chairman for State Pedicon 2008 and 2014, Neocon 2009, and NCPID for 2017. He is Professor of Pediatrics from JSS Medical College and Hospital, Mysuru. His area of interest was Pediatric ID, Vaccinology, Neonatology, Communicating Pediatric, Pulmonology. His involvement in medical science and passion towards research studies for betterment in mankind. He has published 70 papers in national and international journals. He has been awarded 5 State Oration Award. We are happy to have you amongst us, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I request Doctor to address the session. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Taiba.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So I will screen share. Yeah. Yeah. Very good morning to everybody, all teachers, parents, and my dear students, adolescents. Thank you, Madam Geetika Khatola, the principal, JSS Public School, Bangalore, Dr. Geeta Srinivas, Dr. Taiba, for the opportunity given to me to share my views on adolescence issues, which are very, very important in the present day context. Friends, adolescence is a very crucial period in one's life. In the age group of 10 to 19 years, which constitutes 20% of the total population. In that age, 10 to 19 constitutes 20% of the total population. It's quite a big chunk of the total population. That is the area which is totally a turmoil period. Neither an adult nor a child is a growing, rapidly changing period which needs great attention. So I will be dealing the problems under the following headings. So introduction, we'll know about the physical growth and development in adolescence. What is the sexual development? How is the nutrition of adolescence is important? And what are all the problems that an adolescent faces? And how common are the problems? And what is the role of parents and teachers in adolescents' health? Tell them to call later. Put it in silent mode. So these are the headings with which we will discuss. And I will take up the questions by the teachers, parents, and the students at the end of my talk. Friends, adolescence is a stage of, I said, transition from childhood to adulthood. During this stage of transition, there will be changes dramatically occurring in the physical appearance of an adolescent, in the psychological behavior of an adolescent, and the social interaction with the adult society. So changes do appear very drastically in this period of adolescence. So we call 10 to 19 years age group as adolescent period. That can be divided into three: early adolescence, mid-adolescence, or late adolescence. Early adolescence between 10 to 13 years is the adolescence early. 14, 15, 16 is mid-adolescence, and late is 17, 18, 19. So this is how you classify the age. The problems may be different in these categories. So adolescence, I said, is a very crucial period or very critical period in an individual's life. Because child learns to have independence and enters into the dramatic changes of an autonomous adolescence period. It is a transitional stage. I want my video to be appearing there. That will be appearing there. Yeah. So that is a transitional stage. It is no longer adult. Either he is neither a child nor an adult. His adult skills not fully appear, childish behavior not fully gone. So that is a transitional phase. So the process of transition consists of unique sociological, societal, psychological, mental, and physical development, bodily development taking shape in this transitional phenomena of journey towards adulthood. The word meaning adolescence is to grow, to mature. That's a Latin term. So they are growing and they are maturing. These are highly formative years of development, both behavioral pattern and activities that impart lifelong health. So that is a phase of transitional phase, a highly fluctuant and highly critical phase. So it's important to focus on adolescence period. So the physical development during adolescence, the puberty is the changes that occur in the body, what we call it as physical development. If you can do otherwise, no issue. That's a physical development. The pubertal changes include appearance of secondary sexual characters, which makes the child worry, is anxious period, the bodily development, and the reproductive organs development. So bodily development, the stages, the features, one should be aware of it. And maturation of gonadotropin releasing hormones, pulse generator is among the earliest endocrine changes. So it is a neuroendocrine phenomena that drastically develops releasing sex hormones which cause puberty. So you look at this in this diagram, how the pubertal changes start developing. It starts developing from the front portion of the brain, the frontal lobe. Beneath there is a hypothalamus, and beneath is the pituitary gland, an endocrine gland, and the normal physiological process of puberty starts developing with the release of gonadotropin releasing hormone from the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. So GnRH again stimulates the production of luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormones. So both of them will have the positive feedback both on male and female child. The LH and FSH stimulate testosterone production in the boys and stimulates the ovaries for the production of estrogen and progesterone, the female sex hormones. This testosterone is responsible for the physical changes of a boy, that the voice breakdown, the growth of the multiple body tissues, enlargement of the genitals, the facial growth, the pubis and axillary growth are being influenced by the testosterone hormone, which is produced in the testes with the stimulation of hormones released from the pituitary and the hypothalamus, a front portion of the brain. Similarly, the ovaries are stimulated by the follicle stimulating hormone and LH, resulting in production of estrogen, which is responsible for broad development of the hips, the start of menstruation, development of breast, and pubic and axillary hair growth. So this is how the basic pathogenesis of puberty starts in. So coming to the sexual developments that occur during adolescence is assessed by sexual maturity rating. So that ranges from stage 1 in pre-adolescence to stage 5 in fully grown adult. In males, the first sign of puberty starts with the evidence of stage 2 or stage 1 SMR with the testicular enlargement. I mean to say, the first sign of puberty in a boy is enlargement of the testis. In a girl, the first stage or the earliest evidence of puberty in a girl is breast development, what we call it as T-large. That's the first sign, and testicular enlargement in a boy. And that is followed by, in a girl, appearance of pubic hairs, starting of menstruation in the age group of 10 to 16 years. So these are the early evidences of puberty, what we call it as sexual development in boys, what we call it as secondary sexual characters. So the SMR describes in stages depending upon stage 1 to stage 5 based on the changes occurring in the breast and in the pubic hairs. So this is called as sexual maturity rating scale. So stage 1 is no development of breast or pubic hair. Starts with stage 2 with the sparse, lightly pigmented, straight medial border of the labia. There is pubic hairs development, and the breast elevates, what we call it as breast bud. Breast bud is T-large. Stage 3, there will be increased in the curliness of the pubic hairs. The breast enlarges and the contour appears. Stage 4, the pubic hairs scanty, and the breast discriminates into the areola. There's a darker pigmented area at the tip of the breast nodule. At stage 5, the fully developed adult, a triangular shape of hair distribution of the pubic hairs with the full development of breast contour results in stage 5. So this is what we call it as the progression of breast and pubic hairs development in a girl child. Similarly, in a boy, so the pubic hair, the penile development, and the testicular development starts. So this is the sex developments during adolescence, which create a lot of havoc in the mentation of the child. And that may be one of the reasons that they have to realize that these are the normal developments of the body during adolescence. Similarly, stage 1, there is no changes. Starts with stage 2, the pubic hairs are slightly pigmented and sparse, and the penile enlargement develops, and scrotal development, the texture gets altered, starts becoming dark. Stage 3, there will be curliness of the pubic hairs, the penile length increases, the testicular volume. In fact, we measure the testicular volume to decide whether the growth of female genitalia is adequate or inadequate. So it is called as archidometer. So with the use of archidometer, we measure the diameter of the testes and decide what is the gonadal growth in a boy. So stage 4 of SMR, so there will be coarse, curly pubic hairs, the genital penile length increases, breadth increases, scrotum becomes more hyperpigmented, and the stage 5 is like adult development. So these are the SMR staging of gonadal development in boy and girl. So every one of adolescents, the teacher and the parents should be aware of this, the physiological change that occurs to a developing boy or girl, and this is how the gradual increase in the size of the breast and increase in the size of the pubic hair that decides the secondary sexual characters in a girl child. Similarly, in a boy, the genital, the testicular, and the pubic hairs development decides the secondary sexual development. So this is the sexual or bodily development, what we call it as somatic. Soma means body. The growth of the body is evidenced by the appearance of secondary sexual characters in boy and girl in adolescence period. So there will be linear growth of the body. The boy and the girl, there will be rapid catch up of height. So they gain 8 to 9 centimeter per year with the start of sexual maturation. So before that, so that's the secondary sexual start characters, and they start developing the rapid height gain. Similarly, in a boy, there will be 9 to 10 centimeter height per year gain till the puberty stops, till the puberty, the adulthood appears. The growth spurts begins distally with the enlargement of the hands and the feet, then the arms and the legs, and the trunk and the chest finally. So that means the rapid gain in weight and height is that is what is called as somatic growth in addition to genital growth, bodily growth. So look at this graph that shows the male and the boy and the girl development. So the females will have little rapid growth spurt. Cursor here. Yeah, this is a female which start appearing very early. At 9th year itself, there will be rapid growth of the somatic growth rate increases, the height increases rapidly. Similarly, in a boy, little later, so 10 to 11 years, and peaks, and it continues little more duration compared to the girl. So girls start developing features little early by 9 years, and boys by 11 years, they start showing the signs of maturity, the sexual growth, and the linear increase in the height velocity. This is shown in this graph. So we have understood so far the bodily changes that occur in adolescence, the secondary sexual characters, and also the body growth, height, velocity. Coming to the nutritional issues, adolescence is the most rapid period of catch-up, secondary to an infancy. So these are the two phases. The first rapid catch-up growth occurs in the first year of life in human lifespan. The first 1 year, especially the brain growth is rapid. You take an example, head circumference of 35 centimeter at birth becomes 45 centimeter by 1 year. And afterwards, an adult will have 50 centimeter, that's all. So the rapid growth of the body develops in the first year of life. The next period of spurt, this is called as growth spurt. Growth spurt develops in adolescence period from 10 to 19 years. So because there is catch-up of growth, the body height, there is a need for nutritional demand. So adequate nutrition need to be given for a rapidly growing adolescent who is in a transitional phase. If nutrition is not provided during that period, he is going to land up with malnutrition. So why more nutrition? Because the rate of growth is more during adolescence. Adolescence malnutrition is very serious issue. Both undernutrition and overnutrition, both will have an impact on the future health of child, not only the girl child, her later progeny get also affected. I mean to say, if a girl is not looked after during adolescence, her throughout physical, mental, and bodily health gets affected. Not only that, her progeny, the babies who are going to be born also will be affected. That is very, very important. If you have a healthy girl today, she will give rise to healthy babies later for tomorrow, the future generation. Remember that. look after the adolescents, much more a girl child who is going to be mother, a key person in the family. So the nutrition health of a girl child is very, very crucial in the interest of the country. Adolescence is a nutritionally vulnerable period as physiological increase in nutritional demand, if not met adequately, child will suffer, child will become stunted, child will become anemic, and her reproductive capacity goes away, and her progeny will also suffer. Remember the importance of health, the nutrition of a girl child. So look at the problem, in our country. This is 2005, this little older data. Even the new data of NFHS 5 clearly says the 50% of adolescents are undernourished. It is a huge number. One half of the adolescents are malnourished. Very pathetic condition. And 3 to 5%. Of course, nowadays, the latest figure says up to 5% of the adolescents are obese. It's called overnutrition. So in some studies, 8%. In our country, 5 to 8% of adolescents are obese. In certain affluent schools, up to 10 to 15% of the adolescents are overnutrition, obese. So obesity, again, an extreme degree of and malnutrition. So malnutrition includes both undernutrition and overnutrition. So that is the reason why it is important to provide adequate calories, proteins, fat, minerals, trace elements for an adolescence. Remember that. Roughly, an adolescent girl needs from 2000 to 2500 calories per day, around 40 to 50 grams of proteins per day, 30 to 40 grams of fat per day, 800 milligrams to 1 gram of calcium, 1 gram of calcium per day. Iron is 20 to 25 milligrams per day. Zinc, the magnesium, all are required for an adolescence. So adolescents, they need more food, not only in bulk, but with nutritional value. So this is very, very important that you need to look into the health of an adolescent by providing adequate calories and proteins, where 50% of our adolescents, school children are malnourished. So similarly, both for boys and girls, these are the requirement, the minerals, the vitamin A, the green leafy vegetables, the calcium, the dairy products, the milk, the butter, the ghee, the legumes, the fat, the legumes, friendly oils, iron, green leafy vegetables becomes very crucial. The legumes, the green leafy vegetables, nuts, the sprouted protein materials, sprouted grains, dal, are very rich sources of proteins, the amino acids, the thiamine, the riboflavin, niacin, ascorbic acid, pyridoxine. So that's very, very important. The green leafy vegetables should constitute 50 to 100 grams per day in a balanced diet of an adolescent child. Remember this, taking care of an adolescent, providing 200 or 2000 to 3000 calories for an adolescent girl or a boy is very, very crucial to prevent malnutrition and to prevent their progeny, your grandchildren, becoming malnourished. Can be prevented by adequate focus on the diet of an adolescent. look at the anemia, almost around 50% to 55% of adolescents are anemic with hemoglobin of less than 11 grams. Even the latest figure also say, like your undernutrition, anemia is 50 to 60%. There are some schools which 60 to 70% of these school children are anemic. This is another big issue. Because of this, the children are not able to concentrate at school. They will have learning disability. They cannot cope up with the syllabus. Remember the importance of anemia, which is very crucial for concentration at school. So let us go to the extremes problems, the morbidities, the malnutrition, the anemia, the vitamin A deficiency, the infections, infestations, hygiene. These are very, very important. If you look at the mortality, the cause of death, that's also very high in that 20% population group, adolescents. Accidents are the leading cause of death because of the very vivacious, aggressive behavior of adolescents. The accidents are still the leading cause of mortality to the extent of 24 per lakh population, adolescents population. And among the females, still the accidents are the leading cause. Accidents in the sense can be prone for road traffic accidents, can be the accidents related to self-harm or suicidal tendency. So the assaults, the violence, self-inflicting injuries, all of them can result in fatality in an adolescence. Remember that adolescence is a vulnerable period. Let me say, adolescence is a period of turmoil, physical turmoil, mental turmoil, and a very unstable transitional period, which needs to be given proper attention by teachers and parents to prevent morbidity, mortality in this age group, adolescence. So let us go to the figures, and of course, the drowning still was the common cause. Now, subsequently, it was replaced by adolescents, HIV and AIDS. And now the psychosocial issues, suicide, or the changing trends. So, few years back, a decade, 2 decades ago, it was drowning, diarrhea, road traffic accident, pneumonia, and gastrointestinal infections were the leading causes, which changed over. Of course, not much of change. The HIV is now receding back from 2015 onwards. HIV is slowly waning off, and that is being replaced by the suicide, the psychological, the drug abuse, road traffic accidents, the medical issues like tuberculosis, HIV, sexually transmitted illnesses are accounting for high mortality in adolescents, both boys and girls. And of course, age is again not in aggressive, high risk behavior. Children, little older children, again the road traffic accidents, the vehicle unlicensed, the government cancelled the license of, the vehicles which are run by the adolescents recently. The intention is that they will ride two-wheelers and they will not have any license and they are not eligible also. They are not 18 and above. So very adolescents, they drive the two-wheelers in a haphazard way and succumb to the accidents. That's very, very important. It was made the law to pick up adolescents. The police were informed, the teachers were informed about the two-wheelers which are used by the adolescents. Because of that reason, the road traffic accidents are the leading cause of death among adolescents. The suicidal tendency, drowning, burns, accidents, things like that. The aggressive behavior, the quarrel, the interpersonal violence, and of course, certain disorders like tuberculosis, diabetes mellitus are also adding sexually transmitted diseases or the adding causes of death in adolescence. So coming to the problems that you face, the psychological problems, the mental health problems among adolescents, the social interaction may be defective. They, for example, they may have autistic behavior, poor concentration, aggressive behavior, temper tantrum. Temper tantrum is they become more angry, express angriness, they throw violence, what we call it as very aggressive behavior is quite common in adolescence. At the same time, the internalizing disorders like anxiety, tension, depression, mood swings, trauma responses, they are vulnerable to get affected with the incidents which happen, the death or the violence or the illness in the family members. Externalizing disorders like attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, conduct disorders. These are very, very important. A teacher should pick up a child who is lagging behind in studies, who is not concentrating on teaching, who is showing scholastic backwardness in all the performances. In fact, it is not an act for punishment. It is an act to be recognized by the teacher and need to be subjected for counseling and treatment. So, adolescence is a period where you should recognize as a teacher and a parent the vulnerability of an adolescence for different disorders, early recognition, and treatment. In fact, that is not a mistake of an adolescence. The lobe, the brain, the hormones are creating havoc in the behavior of an adolescence, which is not an act for punishment, but it is an act for early intervention by the teacher, by the parent, and by the physician for treatment. That is the basic thing that I would like to convey to the teachers and the parents. The conduct disorders, the lying, stealing, aggressive behavior, running out of school, school absenteeism, all these are conduct disorders which need to be identified by the teacher at right time. So teacher is a very crucial person who will have a vital role in recognizing the disorders in the child based on the attitude and behavior of the child and treat appropriately before the things go out of control. That is the message I want to give to the teachers and the parents. So they can be appetite disorders, eating disorders, eating too less, eating too much, becoming wasted and malnourished, or becoming obese and overweight are extremely important in adolescent eating disorders. Substance abuse, drug abuse is increasing even in schools, high schools. pre-university colleges, more so in affluent schools, let me put in, rather than rural schools, which are really taking the life of these children to the extreme step. So, early recognition of mental disorders, the schizophrenia, the swings, the bipolar disorder, the extreme mood swings is bipolar disorder, severe depression, severe aggressiveness, extreme steps, very pathetic or somnolence and depression state, or behaving in a euphoric manner, imagining things and talking irrelevant and behaving irresponsibly, irrelevantly, and having mood swings are the early evidences of schizophrenia or bipolar disorders, which the teacher also should pick up, and equally the parents. Coming to the mental health issues in adolescence, the therapeutic aspects, individual psychotherapy. Child should be referred to a psychiatrist where psychosocial problems are very rampant in adolescence. Not only the child, the family should be educated and opted and given proper psychotherapy. As are the parents, so are the children. So parents also need to be counseled and treated in many situations. The psychopharmacology, the use of drugs, antipsychotic drugs, many times are required. Many times you need to have a special education for these children with psychosocial problems, and treatment plans may need hospitalization of these children, or it can be domiciliary care or daycare as the condition permits. So it's important that the early recognition by the teachers and the parents and involvement of the psychiatrist, the pediatrician, the multidisciplinary approach becomes very essential for these children with psychosocial problems who are really in distress. So, the legal responses like detention, group homes, or probation are very rare instances of management for very violent issues. Community-based treatment is very much required as a blanket therapy, right from the family education, the therapeutic foster care, and mentoring programs as the community focused protocols that are available in adolescence-friendly school initiative program. So the goals of treatment of an adolescent is to enhance the adoption of the adolescents to the environment. So that is what is happening. He has to realize, or she has to realize, the fact that they are going away from the societal norms and they need to get adjusted to the situation in the society and the environment. So that is what is required. They should go in parallel to the society norms. Second is to support the community's effort to accommodate to the child's unique differences. Child is deviating, as I said, the adolescence is a period of extreme swings and vulnerability and turmoil. They need to get adjusted to the community environment and community setup. And that is the goal of community treatment and the responsibility of the community in adolescence care. So the eating disorders, which I said, are characterized by body dissatisfaction related to overvaluation of a thin body ideal. So that concept, especially the idea of thinning, idea of bodily imaging, comes into an adolescent mind, and that makes the child to go for eating disorders. And this cognition, this bodily figure, and control of weight are the driving forces operating in an adolescent's mind, which cause significant biological, psychological, and social complications. So that is the drive that is operating in an adolescent mind. The weight issues, the body figure and configuration issues are operating, which result in anorexia nervosa. That is a significant overestimation of the body size. They think even if they are slim, that they will be under the impression that they are overweight and they are worried about the shape and they relentlessly pursue in thinning. That is the basic root cause for anorexia nervosa. Because of that, they restrict combined excessive eating and compulsive exercise. So they try to head towards slimming. And other type is they don't eat at all, restrictive type. Binged or purged type, that's the second type of anorexia nervosa. And they eat a lot, overeat, and they try to bring it out by vomiting or by use of purgatives. That is called as binge purge type. The first one is restrictive. They don't eat at all and they try to become thin and end up with problem. This is what we call it as anorexia nervosa. Look at this diagram. They are bone and bony, the wasted muscles, slim, bony appearance. Still they think that they are fat. I won't eat because I am fat. Look at the bones, right? So this is an extreme form of anorexia nervosa, where the boy or the girl thinks that they are fat. They need to slim down, and they make all attempt to refuse food. So that is anorexia nervosa. This is bulimia nervosa, is another extremes of food, is characterized by eating large amount. So they eat a lot and they try to compensate by vomiting, by use of purgatives, or by doing excessive exercise or fasting, prolonged fasting to avoid obesity. So this entity is called as bulimia nervosa. They eat a lot and try to do all activities to slim down. Repeated attempts to lose weight by self-induced vomiting and severe food restriction and abuse of laxatives is the event, and they will have wide fluctuations in weight, the fear of loss of control over eating behavior. They eat a lot and do all sorts of activities to become slim. So depressive symptoms, especially after binge eating, are very, very common. So these are the two extremes. One is anorexia nervosa, other one is bulimia nervosa, are the two extreme eating disorders that you see in adolescence. So this 1 to 3% of our adolescents will have that, this bulimia nervosa or anorexia nervosa. And recognition and early psychological therapy is very important. Psychotherapy by the psychiatrist and also the multidisciplinary approach and treatment by a counselor, the pediatrician, and the dietitian becomes very crucial in these disorders. The psychiatric illnesses, as I said, they will have aggressive behavior. They may not concentrate at school. They will throw angers, temper tantrums. They get disconnected from the surrounding world. They will not have eye-to-eye contact. They will not look at you. They will not look at the peers. They will be in their own world. Any disturbance may precipitate temper tantrums and aggressiveness. This is what is called as autism spectrum disorders. Autism spectrum disorders, which again should be picked up by the teacher, by the behavior of the child. When he is not showing eye-to-eye contact, when she is not interacting with the peers, when she remains isolated, when she remains in their own word, when she keeps talking repeated ecolalias, repeated same word talking, or when she throws angers and tempers, you should think of autism spectrum disorders, which are called as socially disconnected states. This also should be remembered. So other thing is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. When a child is not concentrating at school, this concentrating ability of the child is lost. She will start exhibiting scholastic backwardness. Why the child which was doing well, scoring well, start deteriorating, her performance is sinking. Think of attention deficit disorder. I said in the beginning, think her nutrition may be poor, she may be anemic. Because of that, she may not be concentrating on the lessons which you are teaching. So that should be recognized in these children. The poor concentrating capacity at the school, at the peer level, at the organization, concentrate even at school and the home with the peers also. So poor concentration, poor coordination is an early event of this attention deficit disorder. So they may need pharmacotherapy, they need educational support, they need parental supervision constantly to treat these children with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Psychosocial disorder, 3% of adolescents can have this. Remember, all these disorders, psychological issues in adolescents are very crucial, which will hamper their educational progress. It can be seen to the extent of 5 to 8% in adolescents, and that depression will have a high risk of suicidal tendency. High risk of school failure, we call it as transi. They run away from the school absenteeism. These children will have that. Poor relationship with the peers, with the friends, with the parents, with the teacher, and poor work outcome. And they also need to be recognized. When they are not totally disconnected, they will have a tendency for depression, a tendency for suicide. Early recognition is very important. So when they are lagging behind in the school performance, when they are not concentrating at school, teachers should pick up very early and try to refer to a psychiatrist who will go through in detail the psychometry and analyze and start treatment. A psychotherapy or certain drugs can be used, and early identification with appropriate treatment will definitely prevent deaths due to depression and suicide. So this is also parents and teachers should remember the psychosocial depressive events in adolescence. So extremes of anxiety, the tension, mood swings can also be seen in 5% of adolescents. Excessive worrying interfering with the function, lot of tension, aggressiveness, and that takes out the performance of a child again. They are too much tensed up and they cannot do well at school, cannot do well at exams. So they may have obsessive compulsive component, in the sense they think that the compulsions, as they think they have done a mistake in counting, they start counting again, or they have not washed their hands, they keep washing again. Sometimes when you check, when you lock the door, when you close the book, then you will open whether it is there or not, things like that. They are all obsessive compulsive tendencies which are common in anxiety disorders, which are seen in these children. social anxiety in adolescence, and treatment becomes very much necessary for this anxiety disorder. So I have told you the common psychiatric illnesses that you come across in adolescence, a significant trauma, otherwise post-traumatic event. A trauma can be a physical, or can be a death in the family, or can be a broken family, or parental quarrel. If the parents keep quarreling in front of an adolescent girl, look at the trauma that the child undergoes. So there is a significant traumatic injury to a child by the social events, maybe a death of a kith and kin, death of a loved one, or separation of a loved one. All can result in depression. All of them, it can be an abuse to a child. It can be physical abuse, can be a sexual abuse, can be a nutritional abuse, nutritional deprivation to a child, nutritional neglect, ill-treating, branding, beating children. All these are traumatic events. Quarrel between the parents at home or accidents at home, traumatic experience at home, in the school, in the home most of the time, can leave behind a lot of trauma to a child, resulting in depression. So this is very, very important. The complicated depression, they go for substance abuse. A depressed child will be a victim for drug abuse, risk taking behavior. Remember that. A child which has sustained to a traumatic event which goes for depression can take extreme steps of accident, extreme step of suicide, or physical inflict on the body, physical injury on his own body, on her own body. So these are the very extreme steps which can be attributed to events in the family, in the school, which can result in depression. And therapy, again, it should be aggressive, the psychotherapy by the psychiatrist. So let us know something about conduct disorders, more common among boys. The behavior, conduct is behavior, how they behave towards other friends, peers. So, for example, cruel to animals can be an early symptom. They behave very cruel with animals, living things. That may be an early evidence of a conduct violent activity. It can persist and develop into antisocial personality and lifelong criminality. Look at the words. The antisocial behavior is again starts in childhood, in adolescence, very aggressive. They start behaving cruelly with animals, and the same thing gets converted with the peers, with other human beings. So that is conduct disease, conduct disorder, inflicting injury to others, behaving very cruel, antisocial element, and these are the children who are going to be becoming criminals later in life. All these are because of lack of supervision by parents. Remember this, the lack of supervision by parents. The parents should always see not only the marks that the child scores with the internal assessment or with the final examination. The parents should see how the child behaves at school. If money is lost, nothing is lost. If character is lost, everything is lost in life. The virtues of life are very, very important in shaping the behavior of the child, and to see that this child becomes a decent, great citizen of tomorrow. The virtues, the honesty, the reality, the truth, the violence, the friendship, the love and affection. These are virtues of life. These are the basic requirement for any human being. Don't assess by the students, the girl and a boy, by the marks that she scores, the grade that he gets. Look at the virtues of life that he or she is inculcating. This is very, very important. So also the teachers, they should recognize the stealing, the lying, cruelty behavior, antisocial activities, which are starting early in school, should be picked up. So parents should focus on the attitude and behavior, the violence activity, the stealing, lying, all these activities done by the wards. Look at the behavior, because if they are not inculcating the virtues of life, they will succumb victim for substance abuse, the bad friendship, peers pressure, peer activities will spoil them. The substance abuse sets in. Positive relationship with the school, that's very important. The honest relationship, how he behaves with the other peers, with the teachers, the respect, the attitude, behavior should be noted by the teacher at school. How he behaves with school peers, pro-social peers are the good indicators. The relation and the behavior with the peers, with the parents, with the teacher are the early indicators of conduct disorders, which are very, very important to shape an individual, to prevent him from becoming a criminal later in life. Placement away from home, running away, running away from home, running away from school. So the peer pressure, the friendship are the very violent activities found in youth. These should be recognized. Home-based intensive family treatment leads to 75% recovery rate in these conduct disorders. So conduct disorders will shape the child's life. So you should recognize, and that needs treatment for the family, and the behavior therapy will prevent the catastrophes in life. See, substance abuse fortunately is declining, but still certain schools, very affluent schools, even in a city like Bangalore, we do see substance abuse, again, which manifest with psychiatric disorders and complicate the issue. Use of several drugs, all types of the smoking, the drugs, the ganja, all the morphia drugs, things like that are being abused in adolescence, and there are anti-society criminal individuals operating in generating these drug abuse in schools. This is associated with poor family relationship, they will not have love and affection, care towards the family members. And the culprit is poor parental supervision. Parents should see what the child is doing, where he is going, not only looking at the marks or the grade he scores, look at the behavior, look at the friends, look at the peers, their attitude and behavior, which will alarm you to see how your child or the girl or the boy are being brought up in the atmosphere away from your home. So parental supervision is very, very crucial. You tell who are your friends, I will tell you who you are. They are the proverbs. So one can say how you are by looking at the peers that you have, the friends you have. So that delicate statement the parents and teachers should remember and help the juvenile, the adolescent to come out of the distress and sustain life and grow toward brightness in later in life and become a good citizen of tomorrow. So treatments are available both at the individual level, the family level, and community level to improve the skill and abilities of the child who is in distress. So the stages of adolescence, drug abuse can be an impulsive disorder, seeking gratification for an immediate illness, and the peers are the goals, the targets who influence this drug abuse. They think that they want to experiment, the sense of euphoria. Euphoria is a feeling of well-being, flying sense of well-being, euphoric state. So they think that they are being succumbed the pleasure, euphoria, sense of well-being. There is flying in the air, such type of attitude. And seeking euphoria, there is increased frequency of use of these drugs. And there are wicked elements operating in the society which push these children for drug abuse. Or a child who is psychosocially upset and depressed is vulnerable to get into drug abuse. So look at that high daily use or loss of control, the multiple consequences, risk-taking behavior. They will take extreme risk to the extent of suicide, individuals who with drug abuse. Use of drugs to feel normal, use of drugs for a sense of guilt, use of drugs for a withdrawal symptom, for a shame or depression, physical or mental deterioration, self-destruction or suicide. These are extremes, burnt out issues which result in extreme degree of drug abuse state causing suicide by these children. So drug abuse is a state which need to be addressed, which is a common cause of mortality in adolescence. Look at that. Suicide is the 6th leading cause of death in adolescence. First leading cause of death in late adolescence. Incidence can be 7 per lakh adolescent population. Remember that. Suicide, etiology or multifactorial. It can be psychosocial depression, it can be a drug abuse, a peer pleasure, lack of parental supervision, lack of teacher supervision, multifactorial cause leading on to depression and suicide in adolescence. Let us go to the tips. Why the extreme stress that has troubled a teenager to this edge of suicide. 43% can be examination fear. This is very, very important. The fear of examination, they will drive towards a drastic step. There should not be any fear of examination. That's why day-to-day examination and assessment carries over the final single examination. Children should not have the fear of examination. Children should not have the sibling rivalry. These parents should listen. Parents should see that there should not be any sibling rivalry, which has created extreme steps of suicide. Issues at school, the peer pressure, the peer group, the group outside, children who are psychologically depressed need to be picked up in the school by the teachers. Again, the message to parents, warring parents, quarreling parents, all the time parents quarreling in front of children can result in this extreme step of suicide. So parents should behave properly. Their behavior influences the behavior of children. Children may have the fear of punishment. Remember that. Whether the teacher or especially the parent, don't punish a child who scores less. Don't punish a child who commits some mistake or the other. In fact, you think that you have failed to detect them at an early stage and treat appropriately in a systematic way. Punishment is an extreme, severe, cruel step that you take to treat an underscorer, to treat a child with conduct problem. So remember that type of punishment aggressively can result in suicide tendency in an adolescent. Of course, the natural things, the death of a loved one, separation of a loved one, results in depression. Depression results in suicide. Distressed parents. That means mentally parents should be stable. If they are quarrelsome, if they are aggressive, if they show anxiety and aggressive behavior with children, that will take out the performance of a boy or a girl, and they can land up with depression. So parents should have a smiling face without distress, without agony in their mind, without anxiety in their mind, without tension in their mind, without anger in their mind. They should smile with a face of love towards their children and see that they grow in a friendly atmosphere to prevent this extreme step of suicide. So these are the very important tips that I would like to give to parents and teachers to prevent this extreme episode of suicide. Education is very, very important. After all, is not only the scoring. Today he may score, tomorrow she will score. You need not be number one every time. All this awareness becomes very, very important and should be provided by the teachers and the parents. Change the attitude of the child. Tell the myths about the common mental health problems. They are not the curse. They are the incidences which happen, and we need to take them with a sense of adjustment, and you have to manage them meticulously and support these children both socially, physically, emotionally, so that they get tied over the crisis and become normal human beings. So depressions, the events do occur in life, and we have to face the life with challenge without going for extreme step of depression and suicide. the substance abuse, the mood disorders should be picked up. Try and identify the handling the crisis situation among children, for example, a depression, for example, juvenile delinquency or depression, severe trances, running away from school, running away from home. All these need to be seriously identified and treated in a systematic way with a multidisciplinary approach by the teachers, students, parents, doctors, psychiatrists, counselor, etc. Identify and handle these crisis situations among adolescents properly. Support group involving the family, friends is very, very important. Adolescents always need support from the parents, support from the relatives, support from friends for all-round development. That is what I want to say. You take action. Parents, be informed. Support group, education becomes very crucial. Support your child. Listen. You should be a good listener. Parents and teachers should be listeners. Good listener is a good character by the teacher and the parent. You should listen what the child says and don't enforce from your side right from the beginning. Avoid criticism. Don't criticize and point out and tease the child in front of everybody. That is very, very important. Don't criticize the child. Don't criticize and compare with other siblings, parents. Never compare. This child is like this and you are like this. You support. Put your hands on the shoulder and say, so she will have the sense of support, sense of education, sense of strength. So always support them whenever they are in distress. Never criticize, never compare teachers and friends, teachers and parents. Never compare. All the five fingers will not be of the same height. Never compare with each other. That is very, very important. Get help from the doctors, get help from the mental health professionals whenever you are in distress, whenever your ward, whenever your child is in distress. Children also should adjust and learn whenever your friend is in distress, you support them. Encourage your friend to seek professional help. Accompany the child whenever he is in distress. Whenever he is very much depressed, our duty as a friend, as a classmate, is to offer helping hand to a child who is hurt physically, who is hurt mentally. Talk to an adult who can help you, your friend. So don't be alone and offer helping hand to your friend as a classmate, that your role is also there to help other friends who are in distress, who are depressed, who are not doing well, who are keeping away, who are getting themselves isolated. So there are steps. This I would like to skip, and this is for the healthcare workers. And there are sexually transmitted issues in adolescents. Adolescents are vulnerable for STDs. Adolescents are victims for sexual abuse. Sexual abuse is again an issue which can create a lot of problems for the mental health of the child. It can be physical abuse, it can be sexual abuse. Younger the age of puberty, cervical ectopy are the evidences, smaller introiters, asymptomatic nature of sexually transmitted infections, and uncircumscribed penis. All this, these are the clues when you see that they can have the evidences of sexual abuse. So sexual abuse is an offense which need to be informed, and a victim need to be counseled to prevent depression in them. So abuse can be, the factors in the society can be poverty or limited access to adolescent-friendly health services, health-seeking behavior, sexual abuse and violence, and homelessness are the societal factors which can operate and result in the psychosexual problems in adolescence. So adolescent-friendly health services are available in different health settings. Why adolescents hesitate to utilize these adolescent-friendly health services which are available in the healthcare centers? They think that the myths and the misconceptions related to sexual development, lack of knowledge of availability of health services. Adolescents are not able to go to these clinics because they think that they are shy, or they cannot miss the school or classes when they want to visit. Of they think that there is lack of privacy and confidentiality in health clinic, or there is a long waiting queues and they cannot go and wait and expose their problems. They cannot afford to meet the fees, things like that. So these are certain issues which make the adolescent not able to access the health facility or the services, or lack of transport, or negative attitude towards the doctor and the nurse. The routine hospitals do not entertain the adolescents coming alone, and they want their parents and things like that. There are real issues related to offering healthcare services in the hospital setup. So, where are the health friendly available issues, health friendly health services available, or health friendly adolescent services, adolescent friendly health services are located in all health centers. They both hospitals, clinics, and primary health centers in rural areas do offer. Under the National Rural Health Mission, there is an adolescence-friendly health initiative program being operated by the Government of India at all schools. The providing of health hygiene, providing of diapers or nappies to keen menstrual hygiene, providing iron and folic acid tablets to adolescents. So, adolescent health hygiene, adolescent psychosexual counseling issues are incorporated in NRHM, National Rural Health Mission services, which are available in all health centers, both at the rural and adult city health services. Special services provided by adolescent-friendly health services are monitoring growth and development of an adolescent, promoting healthy diet, prevention of malnutrition and obesity, encouraging adolescents to give vaccines, adolescents immunization, counseling to prevent intentional injuries and prevent substance abuse, counsel them about the life skills related to sexual and reproductive health, and tell them about the lifestyle diseases, STDs, HIV, health ailments, and education regarding the illness. So all these are being covered by adolescent-friendly health services available in government health institutes. So they make the adolescents aware about healthy reproductive health, myths and misconceptions by education, life skill activities to prevent psychosocial illnesses, healthy positive attitude towards self-help and society, and to provide adolescents with accurate, age-appropriate, culturally acceptable information regarding health education. So all these are being provided by health education, by the adolescent-friendly health initiative that is the government of India is taking in reaching the adolescents. So that's about the health services which are available and the adolescents who need to take the help. So coming to the role of teachers in adolescence care, to make adolescents aware about the adolescents' reproductive and genital changes that are occurring. They must educate the children that these things are common, the developments are normal in this age, and they should remove the myths and misconceptions occurring in adolescence development. They should inculcate the skills of assertiveness, positiveness, decision making, avoiding high risk behaviors, avoiding succumbing to the influence of peer pressures, to develop healthy and positive attitude towards self and society, provide adolescents with accurate, age-appropriate, culturally relevant information by the teachers, by the gadgets that are available, and the parents also. Parents should learn the habit of not to compare siblings, and every child is unique. They should understand the potential of the child and they cannot enforce beyond that. No physical, mental, or social abuse for wrongdoings. Rather, discuss the issues in a healthy manner. So, the act of commission, the mistakes committed by an adolescent, is a warning signal for you to recognize it and act in an appropriate manner rather than punishing physically. That is what I want to say. Do not pamper your children, it will hamper their progress. Pampering is a wrong thing. Be friendly to children, be friendly to adolescents, support them, and you must be trustworthy. They should know that you are going to help whenever they are in distress. So you should create that confidence among adolescents. You help your children to come out with positive resolutions. Suggest them what is good and what is bad. Inculcate positive values in life. Positive, what is good, what is bad. That should be taught right from the beginning. Help your children to become assertive and withstand the situational pressures. Positive attitude building is very important. Help them to make a good decision maker. Take out time for them. Always, that's very important. You spend time with your children who are grown up. You eat with them across the table. Tell them the dietary good habits. Tell them what to eat. Tell them to eat fruits and vegetables. Discuss healthy issues when you are sitting across. That means take out time for your children. You must spend time with your children. Don't put them for reading and keep away for yourself. Always share time with your children. Spare your valuable time with children. That is what is happening. If you are very busy and not sparing time with your children, they are going to become antisocial elements because you are not monitoring their conduct. Always stand by them. You stand beside them, you shoulder them, you take the responsibility no matter what situation arises. You should be a right hand, you should be a supporter of your own child whenever he is in distress. So these are the tips that I would like to give to the parents, that they are totally responsible for the outcome of their children. Talk to them whenever they are in problem. Identify them, support them. Don't give violence. Both physical and biological changes faced by the children should be identified by you and you should support your children. Maintain healthy rapport with friends, with their friends. So you should know who is your who is the friend of your son or daughter. So you will assess how your child is. So have a good rapport with the friends of your child. Provide conducive environment both at home and at school to see that your child grows with all good habits, the virtues of life inculcated in them, and become a good, healthy, sound citizen. So, with these messages to teachers and parents, I would like to conclude my talk telling that adolescence is a physiological period of turmoil, very vulnerable child. It can go this way or it can go that way. So identify it early and shape it properly right from the beginning without giving room for any of the psychosocial or sexual issues. Thank you, parents. Thank you, teachers. And thank you, my dear adolescents. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Thank you. Over to the teachers.
Geeta? Geeta, I will speak now.
Geetika Karwal madam, how are you?
Namaskara, sir.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Hmm.
Yes, sir. Namaskara.
Namaskar.
With the blessings of His Holiness, Sri Sri Shivaratri Deshikendra Mahaswamiji, we are indeed blessed that today we had a very insightful session by Dr. Narayanappa Ji. Sir, thank you once again. I will not take too long, but having crossed...
I have exceeded the time. I have exceeded...
No, sir, I am saying I will not take too time. All that I am saying, I will not. Okay. So having heard you, for me, it was like going through a voyage, because I have crossed the childhood, the infancy, the adolescent, the adulthood. For me, it was like a sailor, who has gone for a voyage and taken through the entire phases. So very, very insightful. And coming from a perspective from a doctor, we came to know the science behind the behavior of the adolescents. If I have to say, for me, adolescents are the most adorable children, but we also have to be very ready to handle this so-called transitional phase. If you look at the day, the morning sunrise and the sunset, they both are transitional times and the beautiful times of the day. The
beautiful. Yeah.
Sandhya Puja. So morning, sunrise and sunset, both are very, very pleasant to us, the horizon. So children, yes, we do understand this is an age of anxiety, of worry, of anxiety, of having mood swings, etc. And you all love your friends, you like independence, you like joy, you like fun, all of that is playing. And your hormones are playing. You are not the culprit, so to speak. Not at all, children. Your hormones are playing. And that is why doctor has very clearly talked about the physical development, the sexual development, the psychological development, the social development, all these aspects from a scientific point of view, doctor has told us, because that's what makes a complete, well-rounded personality of a child. So, and how it is marked with, scientific SMR ratings, what are the phases. So now you know that this is happening. These are the bodily changes that are happening in you, and you need not worry, because sometimes children get worried that I am observing bodily changes and they don't know whom to go to. So these are changes which doctor has already alerted to you. You have to take care on, be observant of your changes. And if you have doubts, I would say the first person to go to is to your parents. Talk out to them, and the parents who are listening to us, you should also know and be observant that your child is going through this voice change or breast enlargement phase, and then try to pick up conversation accordingly. This is a catch-up phase, catch up the growth. So parents, you also rise up and catch up with your parents. If you have missed all this while, this is a time to rebuild and make your bond stronger with your children. It will take some time, but maybe a book you can talk about, a movie you can go together, start doing activities together, because I think they will really release all these happy hormones, so to say, maybe serotonin or the dose all these 4 hormones, which are very important. Hug your children, so they will make you feel good. I also want to restate, sir has talked about the girl child. Beti ghar ki chirag jaise phool mein parag, it is said. So girl child is very important, because even in education, you educate a girl child, you educate the whole family, because she is going to be the core of the family, an educated mother. Apart from that, her nutrition, very important. Statistics, the hemoglobin count is very low. And somehow, somewhere, being an Indian, somewhere now it has changed, but the focus that we give to the girl child in terms of nutrition is sometimes limited. We get biased towards the boy child. So please be alert, parents, that your daughters require immense nutrition, because sir has said it will impact the progeny. So a healthy mother will give a birth to a healthy child and avoid all other problems in later years. So calorie intake, 2000 to 2300 calories are very, very important. Sir has always talked about the abuse part of it. If the adolescent is not taken care properly, then the child will suffer from either nutritional abuse or physical abuse, social abuse, conduct disorder, etc. Very, very important to check out what is happening in the house and see alarm signals. Sometimes members of the family only are the first culprit for any sexual abuse. In my experience also, so many years, when we handle children, we find that the home, people at home, are the first culprits to assault children sexually as well. So that also has to be taken. Exhibit good behavior in front of your children, because as are the parents, so are the children, sir said. So you must exhibit good behavior and not impact the child in an emotional manner. Child gets very, very disturbed if they find their father, mother are in a conflict. The child is very disturbed, and this will result in an unhappy child. Unhappy child will throw anger through conduct disorder, fighting or stealing or abusing or runaway kids. All this will happen. So there has to be a caution with the way you conduct yourself at home also, doctor has said. And the whole idea for us teachers and parents is not to punish the child. If you find that the behavior of a child is not appropriate, it is to be, recognized, and early intervention is required. In today's time, we have the counselors, we have the psychiatrists also, we have the counselors also, we have so many health and wellness clinic. In our school itself, we have the health and wellness team along with Sudeep sir and Trishala madam from JSS Medical College, Mysuru. We have a team, Taiba madam in the seminar, she is there, and Aarti madam. We are all a part of the health and wellness team, and we have understood that adolescents have to be handled with care. If the physical, psychological, emotional area is taken and nutrition area is taken care of, I think we will have good optimal performance of the child. The problem, doctor also said, that it is not important to get marks always, not at all. What is important is to see that the child performs at optimum level. For this, school is providing so many activities. Now, as we celebrate our 75th Independence Day, our class 10 is having a symphony of all national songs. So there is opportunity for everyone non-stop. There are activities which are going on. I do not know, but I want to remind everybody, a small act like singing the Rashtragan and making a video and putting it in the video link provided by CBSE. You all should do small steps. It just takes 58 seconds to do it. But start involving yourself. Be actively involved in the activities. Otherwise, then extreme cases, doctor has very scientifically told us about all the extreme cases. He's creating an alert, an alarm. He's not scaring you all, but he has told you that you are on a tight rope walking situation. So be cautious and reach out to your parents, teachers, and specialists so that you don't suffer, become either obese or suffer from anorexia, as he said. So we want a healthy and a well rounded child. So otherwise, psychiatric indices will take care of you all, and be alert. Role of teacher has been told very clearly. Role of parents also, doctor has told us. And so we feel that with such a strong team with JSS, and our children and our teachers and our parents. This session has been insightful. Now, after giving some rest to sir, boys and girls, this is the time for you to ask your questions from doctor. So one question which has already come to me was that they are saying, how can we develop an amicable relationship with our elders? So if there is a girl child, how can she have an amicable relationship with a senior boy, for example? How can the relationship be amicable, is one child asking, sir.
Yeah. So the relationship, that is very crucial in all-round development. So whether it is the learning or building up your character, these are taught right from the beginning. They start, how you bring up your children at home as parents, right? These are grown up like that. So this is a social adjustment. So building up relations is a social adjustment. The social adjustment is taught right from your days at home. So how you respect, how you address, how you behave, how singularly or plurally you approach, all these are being taught right from your younger days. So establishing rapport is an art. So it comes by your actions repeated, how you express your face, how you greet them, how you bodily reaction, how is your body language in approaching the senior or approaching a teacher. All these are good inculcable characters, behaviors, which
Yes,
are taught to you right from the beginning. Right?
thank you.
So always be polite, be obedient, be humble, and express your views. Naturally, they will be accepted, received with joy by your teachers, by your
Right,
seniors. So, how
right.
you present your problems, the bodily language, will make them really. So, she is a nice girl. She has real problem. Her way of expression is good. She must be. She needs my help. I need to help her. So,
Yes.
such attitude automatically comes if you behave in an acceptable manner.
Yes, sir.
That you
Thank
are.
you very much. Sir, they are also saying that if a boy or a girl gets attracted towards the opposite sex, then how to manage such a situation? Because it's natural in the teenagers to get attracted towards the opposite sex, boys
Yeah.
or girls.
Yeah.
How do they
Yeah.
manage?
So this opposite sex attraction is a part of the endocrinal, neuroendocrinal development process. So by late adolescence, say after 13, 16 to 19 years, 16 to 19 years, that's a late adolescence. The attraction towards opposite sex is a physiological phenomena. So this should be given by education. A girl should know that the keen interest in opposite sex is a physiological phenomena. She has to express, she has to reveal it to the parents, reveal it to the teachers without hiding things. So that heals by exposure. You revealing to everyone. So that automatically will be taken care of. A boy should know that. So education becomes very crucial. So it's a part of physiological development. We should be revealed to parents, revealed to the teachers instead of hiding and proceeding. So revealing itself heals it. That's
Yes,
what.
sir. I think very well put, sir. In my experience also, we have children and when they express, it takes them an effort to express. But the moment they release this thought, they are more at ease, they are more at calm, and they can manage the coming days very comfortably. In
Correct.
fact,
Correct.
it's like a wave which has come and gone, I think. But sir, very well put this insight for our children. Now they are saying that instead of teaching girls how to behave, we should educate boys how to behave. And instead of telling girls how to behave, we should tell boys how to behave. Generally, we say, girls, you should behave yourself properly. But the voice over here says we should tell the boys to behave properly. So, what do you feel about this?
That's what. That's what. Tendency, boys behave aggressively because the testosterone makes it like that. So they will have little aggressive behavior physiologically, right? So they should also again realize, and your repeated education, telling it makes them to have it under control, and they become quiet and behave properly, right? So these are the things which come by practice and by repeated education.
Sir, children are also saying we have mood swings. Now, when they have mood swings, we all know, having the children grown up, they are aggressive, they are violent, temper tantrums, all of this. So, how do we handle it?
Yeah.
How do we handle?
Yeah, this mood swings is again, as I told you, the schizophrenia or the bipolar disorders, where the extremes mood swings do occur. And mood swings is again, I tell you, is a part of adolescence growth.
That's what.
Everything is decided by your frontal lobe, the brain. You are, Madam rightly put it, you are not the culprit, your hormones are the culprits. So neurobehavioral issues will make them aggressive at time, depressive at time. So the mood swings are very common with them. So they can be overcome by your commitment and involvement in your work.
Yes.
Taking a break, taking a leave, or changing the nature of your work.
Right.
So you can manage, or you expressing your views with the parents, again with the teacher, sharing things with others. All these will bring down the effect of mood swings.
Thank you, sir. And also, sir, I think they can get interested in sports or hobbies, isn't it, sir? They can
That's what. You change the nature of work. They
That's
can
what,
go
sir.
for a
Then,
walk.
sir, yeah, sir.
So that
Sir,
refreshes their mind, and definitely.
Scientifically, sir says changing the nature of work, not for the teachers, you are valuable to us, but for the children, he says, change your, just don't keep studying, or just don't keep sleeping, or just don't keep eating junk food. Sir, the next question is about junk food. Children are saying, how can we have healthy diet? They are asking what diet we should have for in this adolescent age.
Yeah, that's very important. The junk food, eating in between, eating too much of the food which are calorie dense. For example, pizzas, ice creams, they are all very heavy calorie rich food, which is not required, which will make you obese. I said the requirement of your calories 2,300 or up to 2,600 based on your activity and age is by a healthy food which is culturally made and prepared at home will have definitely against obesity, definitely in that context. So eating healthy food becomes very crucial. So junk food in this, eating chocolates, pizzas, ice creams, in addition, in between, will make you more obese. So that, you should have the traffic signals, the green is go, red you stop, yellow be prepared and go. You have the concept of traffic light signals. Similarly, you have the traffic light signals concept in eating. For example, green vegetables is always eat any amount that is acceptable. The legumes, nuts, moderate. The fat, where oily foods, these are the say no to junk foods. All junk foods come under red light signals. They should be eaten only occasionally, not regularly. Healthy food, the green leaf vegetables, the nuts, the pulses, the cereals, the fruits, no limit for that. Greens and fruits, green leafy vegetables and fruit come under the green concept. You can eat them in abundance. Eating only the pizzas, which are saturated fats, the legumes in abundance, and the oily foods, too much of non-vegetarian food, all these will make you their yellow and red concepts foods. So you should have majority of the green foods, medium of yellow, and say no to junk foods, the red signals, the too much of oily based food, which will make you more obese, right?
Right.
So that is the concept need to be focused.
Very well, very simply put forward, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, there is this question that due to current pandemic situation, the learning is curtailed and impacted social skills and development of the children as well. How to overcome these challenges?
I agree, madam. This is an issue peculiar to pandemic. Children are sitting at home, listening to the online classes, eating well, looking at the TVs. Most of the time is spent in front of television. They eat a lot. The calories, all of them are becoming bloated. They are becoming obese at home.
Yes.
No physical activity outdoor games are not there because the pandemic does not permit. Aerosol generating procedures are being abandoned. They cannot run, they cannot go to gym, they cannot play in the playground with children. This is the curse that we have, but we have to learn the technique of modifying our lifestyle skills becomes very important. Within the available place constraint, children should learn the habit of engaging in other activities, not only sitting in front of the TV. TV viewing, computer viewing should be minimized in the context of obesity and healthy diet consumption. So it is important that you must learn, you must walk, you must run, you must do minimum available activities at home to keep yourself. Adopt yoga. Yoga can be performed at home. You can do minimal exercises at home. So keep you fit and say no to junk food. Always whatever mummy prepares out of good cereals, pulses, fruits, vegetables is good enough and keep you healthy,
Right.
keep you free. You will not be exposed to others COVID. So within our restrictions, we have to learn, modify our lifestyle and try to get adequate proteins and calories and burn them with proper exercise.
Very well, sir. I think with that, we come to the end of our questions, sir. And children have reached out. We are really happy and thankful to you, sir, once again for sparing your time. You have been extremely busy, but assure you, sir, that these children who have attended the session today are now more able to take on their life in the right way and they will make the right choices. It's all about choices, I think, in the teenage years. And if they want to go out, what is the impact, the short-term impact and the long-term impact of a choice? Probably they have to think. This is a question with which I leave them, that how to make choices. And sir, next time we will have a session on that itself, decision-making and choices for children. Director Narayanappa D, thank you once again for your time. Thank you.
When shall we have next session, madam?
That is tomorrow, as already decided. That
Is
is the that
yeah.
is for the other age group, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, children can leave. Children, you all can leave. Thank you, sir. So tomorrow we will have same time, isn't it, sir? You have
11 o'clock. Yeah.
Right.
So
tomorrow you'll have smaller children, sir, smaller age group. So maybe we can make it little